How you guys doing? My name's Kevin and I live in a van with my two dogs, Bella and Barrett. And we travel this country living in a van, bringing footage along the way to you guys. Alright, so I'm walking up onto one of the old houses here on the property, and it's got boarded up windows and some normal doors and windows, so I'm imagining it's abandoned because of the age of it. But let me show you guys. There's a placard on the wall. Let's go read it. So it says, Hayes home. Wirt and his brother Alex lived on separate properties away from the farm. However, Harlansdale's homestead housed many of the Harlan families. Their nephew, Harlan Hayes, occupied this house on Harlansdale from 1936 to his death in 1980. Along with the Hayes family, many other families lived and worked on the farm, such as Red Law's Midnight Sun handler. Alright, so the dogs and I have been out here for about 45 minutes. It's about a 15-minute walk back to the car, and that's their morning hour walk. So I take them for a walk in the morning for an hour and at night for an hour. Unless they are having dog parks I can take them to where they can just run off the leash inside gated areas, then that's pretty much their exercise for the day. But we're gonna head back to the van and load up and take off. So I just stopped at Subway and got a tuna sandwich, and on the way here I saw an old graveyard. So I'm gonna go back there and eat lunch and take you guys for a tour in the old graveyard. Come with me. Tuna sandwich from Subway, pretty good. And we're having lunch in the graveyard, and I'm gonna take you guys around for a look. Here, let's see it. I'm seeing 1821, 1891. As soon as I finish lunch here, I'm gonna take you guys for a walk around this graveyard. All right, lunch is all ate. Now I'm here at the graveyard showing you guys. This looks like a very old graveyard. We've got things that are knocked over and very old stones. Take a look. So Nicholas P. Hardman. He was born in 1821 and he passed away in 1891. Look at this old graveyard. I wonder what this was that was knocked over. Look at this old headstone. All it says is Birdie. That is very, very old. So this used to be a lot different. I don't know what happened to it, but let's look at the graveyard. Unknown soldier, Franklin Battlefield, Civil War, 1864. People are putting God bless you stones and some saints, angels, and some coins. Very, very cool. And this just says CSA. It's got a Confederate flag on it. But this is an unknown soldier burial site. I like how they have this brick or this stone all the way around for the burial sites here. So this is Susan, first marriage to Robert Johnston, second to L.B. McConaughey, born April 3rd, 1810 and died June 24th, 1901. This graveyard is very, very old. I mean, these dates are very, very cool to see that there's still graveyards with dates this old. This one I'm looking at, 1832 to 1885. Take a look. J.H. Sykes, born April 6, 1832 and died November 4th, 1885. In memory of Miss Kate Menifee Curran, daughter of John and Elizabeth Curran, born May 12, 1850, and she died on November 9th, 1875, I think that says. 1878. So these big squared off areas is an indication for me not to walk in there just out of respect. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not sure that these are here for that reason, but that's just what I'm picking up on. So I'm going to respect that, not enter. Wife of M.W. Johnson, daughter of M.W. Sarah King, born September 2nd, 1814 and died April 15th, 1872. I can't read the date. Some of these are so unreadable. They're that old. This one here looks very old. Let's go check that out. It's broken and upside down and it's unreadable. But headstones like these are the ones that I'm really interested in because they're so basic and it just tells more of a story to me about how basic this is because of the time frame. So this is Jack Bennett, husband of Emmeline, born February 22nd, 1830, and died in 1862. That's a very cool headstone there. It's a bunch of stones concreted together. 1871 to 1891. Only 20 years old. Lizzie Lawrence only lived 20 years. And this is a newer headstone. Looks like it's been replaced. And we got the mother and father here. And we have Lawrence and we have Lizzie. Well, I guess that's Reverend A.F. Lawrence. And we have another family burial site here is the Peebles family. All the way back from 1880. That one's unreadable. 1904, son of Thosh H. and Mary Elizabeth Peebles. And that's 1904, unreadable. So we got Robert and Sanny. And that one says Barley, and I can't read the rest of it. Robinson, 1861, March 1861, and died October 29th, 1861. So that's a baby. And here is the main headstone here. Just a big family plot. So this is Thosh H. Peebles. January 2nd, 1822, and died November 10th, 1870. 48 years old. And then Mary is buried here with him. That's his wife, I'm gathering. And she was born in 1824 and died in 1883. So there you go, ladies. You outlive us men. This one's broken. It's another Peebles. So that's just a big family burial site. That one's unreadable. This one's barely readable. Yeah, I can't read the top of it, but 1870... I can't read it. 1870 something to 1874, so another child. Let's take a walk around the rest of this cemetery. I'm going to check this large one out and see what that says. Margaret Cook, daughter of James and Margaret Robertson, born in 1822 and died in 1885. Blessed are the dead. I can't read the rest of it. And the Lord, yeah, it's so unreadable. Sally Cokie, born in 1845 and died in 1864. So walking around these grave sites, you can just kind of think about back then in the 1860s or in the 1800s. The life expectancy wasn't very long, especially in the 1800s, because there was famine and there was also disease. And it just goes to show you, like this one I'm looking right here in front of me, says they both died in 1852 and 1899. Doesn't give a born date, so I'm not sure when they were born. But just to try to hit on what I was talking about, the life expectancy back then wasn't very long. Even now, 1860 to 1922, 62 years. Minnie, wife of James Campbell, born 1858, died 1884. 1908 to 1956, 1874 to there's a long one, 1959. It's a cool sign we're going to go read right here. Okay, so this sign here reads, Unknown Civil War Soldier. In 2009, a construction project along the Columbia Pike 2.5 miles south of here unearthed human bone fragments in an area that was part of the Franklin battlefield. Forensic anthropologists determined that these were the remains of a Civil War soldier. Also found among the remains were 6 Union tunic buttons and a mini ball. Although it was impossible to verify the conclusivity of the soldier was a Union or Confederate. Accordingly, he was designated an unknown Civil War soldier, an American who had died for his country. He is buried here at the center of Rest Haven Cemetery. So that's where we're at, Rest Haven Cemetery. And that is what we looked at earlier. That's the unknown soldier. And the monument has just over time been destroyed. I wish I knew what that looked like beforehand. So here's a very cool gated cemetery. This stuff is just fascinating to me. How we take care of our dead as much as we took care of them when they were alive. And this is Lewis A. Merrill, born 1815, died 1870. Charles A. Merrill is buried here also, born in 1812 and died in 1880. And we have the husband, Chas Merrill, another husband, Charles McGee, and a baby, Robert Merrill McGee, is buried there. We got more tiny gravestones all over this place. Rosalie, Andrew, just an R, another small one there. This type of history just brings kind of like chills to my bone, and just makes me fully realize how quick this life is. These people had lives, and they lived, some of them very long time, some of them a very short time. But life goes by quick. That just reiterates why I live in a van, which is back there, and discovering this whole country while I'm young, because we don't know how much time we have left on this planet. Born 1849, died 1876. Born 1847, died 1882. This is the Reams burial ground, another family plot. There's just family plots everywhere, as you can see in this cemetery. I am going to make it a point on this channel to bring more of cemeteries like this into the content. I hope you like this stuff as much as I do. I'm just floored by all of this stuff. All of these graveyards and how people take such great care of ancestors from long times ago. And look at this wrought iron fence. Very cool, old cast iron, not wrought iron, cast iron fence with a family plot. Daniel German, 1789 to 1858. This is the oldest one I saw. But he's got family members buried here with him. You just don't see that much anymore. When you go to graveyards that are recent, you don't see huge plots of families that are buried there with them. Mainly because it's maybe a time frame thing where people are still living, but also it's just the closeness of families back in the 1800s, 1700s, and the early 1900s. The closeness of families was so much greater than the closeness of families now. And that just kind of paints a picture of the future. What's it going to be like in 100 years? Are we even going to have graveyards? Is everybody going to be cremated? Are all these going to be decimated and destroyed by weather and looters or something like that in the future? Are we not going to have this type of scenery and history to fall back on later on in the future when we're all dead and gone and the next people are standing around with cameras looking for just a glimpse of what we're seeing here? I'm glad you guys are here with me, taking in this history and seeing what I'm seeing. And I hope you're getting some of the same feelings I'm getting of just this raw history. And life existed way back before we were even thought of. Lieutenant Colonel George W. Grummond, 14th Michigan Infantry, United States. Unknown when he was born, died December 22nd, 1866, at Fort Phil, Nomar, Wyoming, I think that says. I really can't read it. 1889, 1931. This one's so old I can't even read it. Look at these old headstones. This person lived 99 years. That is amazing. So I think it says Nully Carr. James Carr and Julia Carr, both buried here. 1813 to 1862. Captain Todd Carter, 20th Tennessee Infantry, CSA, 1840. Confederate soldier. That's what the CSA stands for, is Confederation. And just to touch us on a little bit, this person still has somebody coming by and putting a necklace on there. That could have been done 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. There's no idea to know. There's no idea to know who comes by here and puts things on graves, how long ago it was, if it was recent, if there's such strong family ties that great-great-great-grandsons and great-great-great-granddaughters or further from that still come by to show respects for ancestors they never knew because their family ties are so strong. James Kernan, born 1847, died 1878. Wow. I can't wait to see many, many more sites like this, grave sites, throughout the travels of the United States that my dogs and I are going to take you guys on. This is one of my favorite things to do. Come to historic spots like this and bring you guys along during our travels. So that's going to be it for this video today. I was planning on doing a van tour and doing some other things about throughout my day, but when I saw this, I stopped and recorded it, and this is going to eat up most of the time that I have on this video so it doesn't run too long. So we're going to get to the van tour, and we're going to get to my everyday, what I do, things throughout the day, and bring it to you in a later video. But I hope that we keep running into spots like this and it keeps eating up the time that I have on videos, because I'd much rather show you guys history than tell you guys about myself. But it's coming. So why don't you guys come with us for the rest of our journey throughout the United States. I'm in here in Tennessee for a little while. I've got my Rhino Rack roof system being installed here. That's on delivery. It'll be here probably within 3 weeks. I don't know how long I'm going to stick around here. I know I'm going to take off to go see more stuff. So I appreciate you guys sticking around for this video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And please hit that subscribe button to come along with us for future adventures and sites that we're going to see throughout the United States. Why don't you come with us?
Slow down. Fireplace, do you know how? Pass the paper, my desk is out. Who will care for the world out? Rest with me, close the curtain.